Welcome to the 1310 podcast, where I have one guest. We ask them three questions and we do it in roughly 10 minutes. Sometimes, Dallas, I get a little criticism when it goes long, but I think when I have a great guest, we want to make sure they get plenty of time to have their answers. So I'm here with Dr. Dallas Montag, now her married name, Dr. Dallas Ocrainiciuc. How'd I do?
I'm I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Like I said, I'm married for love. I'm
So
married.
she is a
You did great.
2013 graduate of
Yes.
Union Local, and we're going to dive right into the question. We're excited for this interview. You went to Marietta, you had your biochemistry degree, and then you went to a very prestigious dental school, Ohio State. When you reflect on your time as a Union Local Jet, is there a specific teacher, project, or moment in the classroom that sparked your interest in science and your confidence to go out and accept the challenge?
So, like I've shared, it's actually I was hoping for a question like this because it's one that you get asked often when you go into like a professional program or just how did you end up here? What led to you coming here? And for a long time, my answer was that there wasn't like a defining moment or one specific person that led me to where I am today. And I still believe that. Like, I truly think that every person who crosses your path shapes you in some way, whether you realize it at that time or not. But recently, I was cleaning out my basement and I came across a letter from my high school basketball coach, Coach Greenwood. And I really wanted to share this because he wrote me a letter my senior year and he cut out a piece of scripture that I really wish I would have taken a second to grab. But he, he made me reflect on this question, I feel like in a different way. And like I said, at the time, you don't fully understand the impact that someone can have on you, or maybe that he had on me. And I wasn't the most naturally talented basketball player. And I believe that I became as good as I was just because of the work that I was willing to put in and having someone who would help push me there. He would come in early, even as he was starting a family. He would come in early before school, put up the 3-point shooting gun, and just allowed us to stay consistent. And that's something that really pushed me. And not only that, something that really resonated with me, and him giving me a printout from a newspaper, like scripture, was just that he was very open about his faith and just praying before games and the values that he led with. And I've people know I didn't go to church every Sunday growing up like I do now. And looking back as an adult, I can see just how much now that those small moments and encounters with someone influence you and they have a greater, profound impact later on in life. At Union Local, I had a lot of teachers who supported me and pushed me. They helped build my confidence early on. And some of those, experiences were maybe positive and some were maybe more challenging. And they all play a role in guiding your decisions and the direction of my life. So I think I've realized that, he played a really critical role in just we aligned with our work ethic and our philosophies, but words of encouragement and those expectations that all of my teachers had of me helped shaped me and my values long term. And I think that's something too when you are in a sport or you're pushing yourself to be good at something, it trickles into other areas of your life. And so I will be the first to say that I'm not the smartest person in the room or naturally gifted, or that's not the reason why I got to stand in front of my graduating class to give a speech. I feel like I got there because I worked really hard to set a high standard for myself. And what I did and how I showed up on the basketball court carried directly into the classroom, and eventually my career, and what led to me going to Marietta and Ohio State, and we're here now. So
Isn't it interesting how so many people shape our lives? And I think that's one of the blessings of education. I always like the phrase, if you see a turtle on top of a fence post, somebody helped him get there.
get there,
And,
absolutely.
so many people have these small impacts. And you mentioned in our previous conversation that
Mhm.
until you actually press pause in your life and reflect, sometimes you forget
Yeah.
all the people that influenced you.
And it's the small gesture too of like he took the time to write me a letter that I'm looking at. What is it? 20, so 13 years later, and to still have those emotions and feelings come back, and to know that he genuinely cares for his players and the students, that you just have a profound impact. And it's I hope to return that favor to others one day.
Now, this isn't the second question yet, but I
Mhm.
feel like I need to ask
Yeah.
it. As a young dentist, do you feel like you get to have that same impact on some of your patients? And if so, how?
Yeah, so I've had such wonderful mentors like throughout undergrad and dental school. And I think you have to take the initiative, right, to make those connections and to excel at something. But having guidance and someone who's walked in the shoes before and has learned so much. Sorry, pregnancy, I cannot
Yeah,
dive.
we should say Dallas
Yeah.
is you are due any second now.
Yeah, tomorrow's my due date, but like, yeah, I told you I held him in just for this. So now
Easter
I'm like,
baby.
I can't really speak too well. I feel like I can't even digest my lunch from 3 hours ago. But anyway, um, back to your question. When it comes to, yeah, I mean, I always am open to people coming to shadow or reaching out to me. I've had people message me on Instagram and Facebook and like, how did you get from here to there? And I can only share my experiences and what worked for me, but always willing to be an open ear and help guide anyone. I'm very passionate about what I do. I wouldn't, if I could go back and do it all over again, I would do the same thing. And I feel like a lot of people who've gone through a rigorous program. And I would ask a lot of my classmates probably that now, and they maybe would have chosen something differently. But I really feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. And that's like one of the greatest blessings I could ask is that, I've made the right decisions up to this point.
So speaking of challenges, you and your husband, you started your own practice, you purchased your own building, and when I read your bio, you
Mhm.
talk about dentistry, not just about the teeth, but how that's the lens to a lot of other, I don't know, to show you a window into how other aspects of your health are.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about the risk it took to start your own practice, own your own building with your husband, and how your approach to dentistry might be a little bit different than other dentists.
Yes. So we bought our practice right out of residency. So you can choose to do like a 1 year optional residency out of dental school, which I highly recommend. I think it should be a requirement. I say dental school really gives you the license to start learning. You really have to take the initiative because there's so much you can do in dentistry, and I'm still learning all the things that you can do. But yes, we took a big leap buying a practice right out of residency, not the traditional path. And for us, I always knew that I wanted to own my own practice and be my own boss. I feel like it feels like the perfect and the right kind of pressure. We wanted the opportunity just to build something that truly reflected how we believe dentistry should be done. And I think the biggest shift in our philosophy has been moving away from just fixing teeth. And it's really understanding the connection between oral health and overall health. And that means that we spend a lot more time educating our patients. We are looking at the root causes. We are trying to help them understand the why behind things happening and not just treating the symptoms. And then that's changed everything for me and how I diagnose, how I communicate, the level of trust I want to build with our patients. I always tell them you go to your primary care and they address here down. And then they say you have a problem here up, go to your dentist. But how does everything else get to your body, right? It's through your mouth, and understanding how that has a greater impact overall is really important to me. So my passion is trying to bridge that gap and connect the two. And so, yeah, we're looking to continue expanding our knowledge and really see what's possible. And we've built something that we're really proud of. And we want to continue to see what we can do with that. And we want more space, we want more technology and a stronger focus, on patient education and comprehensive care.
I love what you said there. I actually wrote it down, the right kind of pressure. Because I
Mhm.
think no matter what you do in life, it's going to be a massive challenge. It's going to be
Right,
a mountain to climb. And I think we think once we get to the top of the mountain, there's nothing else to do.
right.
It's always learning, it's always a challenge. But if you pick the right thing, something you care about, something that you
Mhm.
have a passion for, it is the right kind of pressure and it feels like a worthwhile challenge. I think so many times we lean our ladder on the wrong wall and we get to the top of it and we're like, don't want to do this. But you don't feel that way at all about your profession.
Absolutely not. And I feel that. I don't want to grow my practice or my business just for the sake of growing. We want to create something that really raises the standard for both patients and for the team that we work with. And I think I come and I see this in my practice, and a lot of people's mindset is you've heard the phrase, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think a lot of people think that way. And my way of thinking at it, thinking about it is just that just because it works fine and it's not broken doesn't mean that there's not a better way to do something. And so I stand by the motto and I kind of make my decisions on when we know better, we can do better. And that really helps guide me in both my personal and professional decisions. So.
Our third question. So you're an incredibly busy person. You're a dentist, you're a business owner, entrepreneur. You have an 18-month-old, and as we mentioned earlier, any day you'll be the mom of
Yes.
two.
Another
So
boy. Yes.
yeah. So talking to our UL students, our girls specifically, can you tell them about, how you balance being a successful, educated dentist, a business owner, and being fully present as a wife and a mom?
Okay.
A lot of times people are like, you can't do it all, but do you feel like
Yeah.
you can have it all?
That's a fully loaded question, and I get very passionate about this too. And I'm trying to honor the 1-3-10, and I'm probably
It's
botching that. But
okay. We're all
um,
good.
so I'm a firm believer that you can have it all, but there's a way to go about that. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that balance doesn't mean that everything feels equal all at one time. I think it means that you have to be intentional with where your energy is at in different seasons of your life. So, like right now, yes, like you said, my life is very full. I'm running a business. We're trying to grow a second business, and I'm a mom to an 18-month-old, and that's a whole new venture and another one on the way. So, some days I feel really put together, and but more days than not, I'm not put together, and I think you have to learn to be okay with that. And so for students, especially young women, who are thinking about having a career and a family, my advice would be you don't have to choose one version of your life. Throughout your life, there are going to be different versions of yourself, and it's a beautiful thing. And you can have it all. You can be driven, you can build something meaningful, you can have a family, but it's going to take a lot of support, a lot of flexibility. And if you're anything like myself, you're going to have that willingness to let go of perfection because I say we always strive, we want to strive for that perfection, and then we do that, we will achieve that excellence. And but we have to let go. We have to let go of that mindset and focus on the consistency over the perfection and the progress over perfection, and surround yourself with people who support your goals. Give yourself permission to grow in each stage, and instead of feeling like you have to have it all figured out and mastered at once, um, let go of that and just try to feel aligned, and choose things that really matter the most to you is, I guess, my biggest piece of advice with that.
I think successful days, successful months, successful years start with successful transitions within the day.
Hmm.
I know one thing that I've started to do is when I get home from my superintendent job, I check my last few emails while I'm still sitting in my
Yep.
truck, and then I try to go into the house and be a present dad. I think
Yep.
sometimes we're trying to be a really good dentist while we're
Hmm.
trying to be a good mom, while we're trying to be a good wife, when really it's about when I'm at my dental office, can I be 100% there? And
Yep.
then when I go home, can I be 100% there? I think where we fail a lot is that we don't transition out of one version of ourselves to another throughout the day. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And this is something that has been a learned thing for me because you have to get good at compartmentalizing, because with dentistry, it's such a rigorous profession getting there. And then the mental and physical load throughout the day, you carry everything else that everyone's feeling. So from your patients to your team. And you go home and you worry about what was the margin like on that filling, and then my assistant's going through this, and then this patient's going through this cancer treatment. You're like you have to be able to compartmentalize. It's really important in any profession that you're in and when you own your own business. But I do the same thing. I have a checklist that gets started in the morning, and it's either things are delegated or I cross it off throughout the day. I have not always been good at this, and I fall short still sometimes. But leaving it at work and being present, because my family family deserves that. And I worked hard to get where I'm at so that I could have it all, right? And I want to be present in each phase of my life. And so it takes practice. It takes, like I said, progress over perfection. And that's what I try to live by for sure.
Well, I can tell that you're pretty locked in on being a strong dentist, a strong wife, strong mom, and we're proud to call you a Union Local graduate. If we have any students or staff members that want to follow you and follow your progress, where can we find you at, Dallas?
So yes, we have our dental practice right now in Massillon, Ohio, Hometown Family Dental. But I'm on social media as Dr. Dallas. I'm on Facebook. Send me a message. I can also give you my contact information. I would love nothing more than to help someone else out along this journey because it can be a beautiful thing, and you got to surround yourself with people who, like I said, will support you in that. So.
Well, we have different things like career counselors now, career navigators, so maybe it's a little bit of a road trip, but maybe we can send some students out to see you one day.
Hey, listen, I still have friends and family, and I'm like honored to be their dentist that travel to come see me. I promise it's a very easy drive, and I will make your experience worth it.
Thank you, Dr. Dallas. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And hopefully, this is just the start of your connection,
Yes,
continued connection to Union Local. And when you're in town, maybe we can have you stop and visit.
absolutely, Zach. Thank you. I love what you're doing, and thank you for having me. And I am so sorry for botching the 10-minute rule because I know for certain we went over.
I'm not even worried about it, Dallas. It's a
All right.
pleasure to meet you, and hopefully get to meet you in person one day. And I'm sure you're looking forward to meeting your new baby boy
Yes,
in the
let me get
flesh.
this baby out, and then I'll make a trip home, and we can chat more.
Thank you, Dallas.
All right, you take care. You have a great weekend.